Hey, this is Kenny, and you're listening to The Other Show. Spencer, what did you say?
I said I was thinking of you in the shower this morning, and I thought it was a great joke.
Okay, hold on. Am I the joke?
No.
Is you in the shower the joke?
No.
Why were you thinking of me in the shower?
And why am I getting a visual?
Hey, who's that? Oh, guess what, guys? So, I don't know if you guys knew this, but like sometimes we like to bring a little bit of like feminine energy to the show. We tried it once, and I think we're going to try it again here. And so we have a guest.
Clearly, it's been working.
Right?
Yeah, I think it was like, hey, could we not hear your guys' voices anymore? Can we hear like someone that's kind of an expert in what they're talking about? So we have Sophie on the show.
Hello, guys.
Yay!
Oh, do you like how I just totally bypassed your joke altogether?
No. It was the perfect segue. Because now that we have Sophie on the show, our number 2 market is California.
That's the joke?
But you were thinking about Kenny in the shower about it? Like,
I don't want to go back to this.
I don't actually understand the context
he's
whatsoever.
the one that opened that up, so...
Sophie listens to the show, and because of her, that's our number 2 market.
We just doubled our numbers in California, apparently.
Yeah.
That's
We have
given.
one whole listen in California. Well,
Okay.
two. Sophie and my uncle sometimes listens.
Hey, Sophie, thanks for joining us. And guess what? This is weird, and I know we said we were going to do this a whole bunch more. This is the first time the 3 of us have ever recorded this show live in person.
Wow, I feel special.
Yeah.
This is great.
It may sound a little weird, maybe a little echoey. We're kind of on a different setup right now. And actually, we hope that everyone can hear Spencer this time around.
Yeah.
Because what, the past 4 episodes, we shut you out?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And so, your voice was a little low, apparently.
Well,
Second puberty.
No,
I get
it happens sometimes. Like, if you want to push me out of the show, just tell me. Don't just drop my bubbles.
I like that you always feel threatened, like whether it's like a pregnancy or, you feel a little sick. You're like, don't kick me off the show. Did you know we're actually friends?
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. We like you.
Spencer gets over dramatic sometimes.
That's true.
It's fine.
It's allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And I'm okay with it. Like, honestly.
Well, Sophie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, how's the other show been doing so far, by the way? How have we been doing? We need the teacher analysis at the end of the year.
We need some feedback.
Yeah.
I mean...
No, be honest.
No, I'm
going to take some Sour Patch Kids. This might be a while.
This is where she tells us honestly that we actually don't have any listens in Orange County.
No.
Yeah, not even her? Oh, wait a minute, Sophie.
Probably binge
obviously I
on the way
listen
up.
because I'm going to critique what you guys have been talking about the past few episodes. I'm
Okay.
I've loved, obviously Josh has his crazy stories all the time. So that always makes me laugh
That's
because
true.
then I
He
can just give
lives.
him crap later.
I mean, it's usually like text message after text message of, you really made out with your mom. I'm like,
Listen,
the way you
you
put
didn't
it,
make
though.
out with
Yeah.
your mom.
No,
Just
I
for everyone
didn't.
listening for the first
No
time.
tongue involved.
No, none.
But you still kissed your mom and slapped her in the butt. I mean, that's...
Are we saying that's trying to steal second and then you got out?
Yes.
That's definitely
Quickly.
filling up your mom, okay, dude?
Quickly,
I don't know. And then the deer, being scared of deers. I mean...
Have you not been sold on that?
No.
He's really convinced me. I
No.
really think they're scary now.
No, they really are.
No.
they're not.
No.
They are.
Dude.
They got
No.
horns. They got horns like the devil. Okay?
Yeah.
They get in front of your car on purpose and don't move. I say this because I've hit a deer and it like totally damaged my car. Did it on purpose.
Okay, but here, counterpoint. Do deer make Kent jerky? No.
But they could. If they have opposable thumbs, they could. And they would.
That is not valid. No, deer are not scary, okay? Like
No,
deer...
that's what I'm saying. Is I make deer jerky. They can't make Spencer jerky.
Because they don't let you dry out.
They can't make
They're like
Josh-
piranha.
Josh
They eat you
jerky.
immediately.
Yes,
no one
exactly.
finds anything. No trace. Josh knows this.
No, I know
No,
everything.
Team Josh.
If a fat man can train 8 of them to fly his sleigh, like, come on.
Okay, you're right.
No, they are out.
Why
They
are
are
we
out
going
to
down this road?
They are out to kill you.
Well, maybe to kill you, because I haven't heard. I've never heard anyone in my entire life say they're scared of deer.
Well,
ever.
no, okay. You go out for a run early, one morning, and you have a deer pop out right in front of you as you're running.
And it's the ornery deer that everyone in
Yes.
the
Did
neighborhood
it
knows.
chase you?
Yes, Bucky McBuckface.
Oh,
He's not editing himself. That's the real name.
Yes, the resident deer in Bountiful is a hole. Like that deer will take you down to the depths of hell with him.
It chases dogs, right?
Yes, dogs, cats,
Josh.
me, whatever it is. That deer is pure evil, and it's got cousins. Like I don't trust the whole family of deer.
This is like the mafia deer.
Okay, I'm going to give you a hypothetical real quick.
Okay.
You're in a big backyard, but it's fenced off, and you can't even get out of this backyard, and you're with a deer, okay? And it's Bucky McBuckface. Okay, imagine that, your fear in that situation. Okay, boom, boom, boom. You're in a swimming pool, and there's a shark in there. I know sharks they can't survive in a swimming pool, but they can in this one. Where do you have greater fear?
Is it a nurse shark? Because a nurse shark, I just hug it.
No. Obviously, it's a shark. It's a tiger shark.
Tiger
Who cares
shark?
if the shark's nursing or
No,
not?
no.
They're not mammals.
No, like say it's a
not
bull
gonna nurse
shark.
on the shark.
Let's have a scarier shark, like a great white shark.
Okay,
or-
we can go to the king.
Come on.
Okay.
Okay. If it's a choice between a deer in a backyard or a great white shark in a backyard pool,
Yeah.
I'm taking the shark because it's not going to fit. It's going to die.
No,
Yeah.
in this pool it can survive.
No,
it's saltwater.
Average sized backyard pool.
Listen.
It's
a surf and swim in Layton because when I was a kid, I always thought there were great white sharks that surf and swim, and they were going to eat me.
Behind the wave machine.
Yeah, you too. Okay, thank you.
The longest a shark has survived in captivity, a great white shark,
Are you going to wait
has
it out?
survived.
I don't want to hear.
I watched this on YouTube
he's
this
ways
morning.
out.
I watched this on YouTube this
Okay,
morning.
Zoobooks.
So
That's his new name.
Go on.
8 days is the longest, and that was probably freak reason why, because they're usually dead within a day or two if they're put into a tank.
Great whites, you mean?
Great whites, yes.
Okay.
So all I have to do is just probably dodge it for a good
Okay, you're going to
solid
dodge a great white for 8 days
In a
rather
pool.
than be in a backyard
There's
with
no
a
way.
deer.
I'm not
You
going to
don't
win in this at
understand how
all.
nimble this man
no.
is in water.
Yes.
I guess I don't.
I've been taking swimming lessons ever since I was a toddler.
So, Sophie, how's the show been going so far?
I mean, we just went on a rant about, a great white shark and deer. So,
I have more I could add to that.
Do we
but,
get a little lost in the tangent?
I mean, it's kind of funny to me.
Okay, good. All right.
I think it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we talk about our own issues a little bit too much? Like our own neighborhood issues?
Oh, good Lord.
Like spying on neighbors like these two have in every episode?
Update.
No, we don't need it.
No, Spencer.
no, we do.
we are not talking about the parking.
Update.
No.
We put garbage cans out front.
Oh, yes,
I
I
would do the same
saw.
thing.
I don't.
I would do the same thing. I think you've made the right move.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
the most reasonable one. We've moved on to other fights now.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh?
No.
Sophie says no.
No. Sophie,
Sophie, I'm glad you're.
you go
here's
in
the
on
thing.
this.
Sophie is the audience member here, and she's able to limit us and stop us where we need to stop because sometimes we don't know.
I'm like a steamroller. Okay.
Spencer.
I've got stuff that's kind of close to home, and I want you guys to take. And it's honestly a little too personal, but I might as well share it here because we're pretty honest on this show, right? This was right after my separation and divorce. I moved, and I shared these stories a lot back in the day, but I moved into the basement of my mom's house.
Understandable.
This is right. But at that time, it was cool, thanks for the help. And it's I had the girls half time, and so my mom could help out as well. And it was great. But then I kind of became complacent. And it was just no, this is fine because I've got a place, I've got an entrance, all that kind of stuff. And boy, do I have some stories that if we have time, I can tell. And there are reasons I moved out. Basically, I wasn't getting the privacy I wanted. Whether it was I brought dates over and my mom would try to make friends with my dates, or she'd be you don't sleep enough. You got home really late. And so I'm I need to move out. So I've been moved out now for 4 years. Well, I had a conversation with my mom a couple weeks ago, and she was hey, she and my stepdad, they're empty nesters now. They've got this big house. She's we may just move to the basement where I was staying. And she's what if you just took the top 2 floors and just pay me rent? And I'm sitting there and I'm well, that's a pretty sweet deal, right? For what I pay for rent, I currently get 2-bedroom, right? But if I were to move there, each of my girls could have their own room. There's plenty of space, huge living room, TV room. I could have a podcast room for bacon cell, for example.
Basketball court on the side.
I literally have, there's a sports court in the back.
I know
already.
because I accidentally walked onto it when I was trying to find my way to the door.
That was super creepy.
Yeah, it was.
And so I'm kind of sitting here and I go, okay, this is a great deal, right? I think my mom would even try to help me out and kind of say, oh, I'll lower rent a little bit so you can save for a down payment when it's actually affordable to buy a home. But we're entering this economy where things are getting worse and worse, and they're going to. And I'm like, okay, is this the smart idea? Even though I would completely lose my independence once again. And so this is what it comes down to is it worth it to make a change like that based on how my life is now?
You know, honestly, this is my opinion. You would be paying rent.
Yeah.
You would be saving up for your own home. You're getting more space. And in this economy and like the way that the world's at now, I say go for it. Maybe have some conversation with your parents first. Be like, okay, we need to set some privacy ground rules first.
Okay.
Like between this hour and this hour, do not come upstairs.
Okay.
Or...
Well, she said she wouldn't at all. She's like, I would never come upstairs. I'm like, well, it'd be boring in the basement for her. She's very chatty, super cool, whatever. I think she would probably be coming upstairs, which I wouldn't hate unless it was like, oh, I have a date on a Friday night. And then my mom comes upstairs to come like make something in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Like,
but do you think she'd like respect your boundaries if you were like, hey, like...
Okay. For example, let's rewind. About 4.5 years. I'm like, hey, Mom, I have a date coming over. We're going to watch a movie in the basement. And she normally didn't come downstairs. She normally didn't invade my space. But I'd be like, please don't come downstairs because I have a date. And she'd be like, oh, sounds great. Yeah, you're fine. All of a sudden we'd be watching like a scary movie and I'm like cuddling, trying to make a move, you know. It's like not quite a Josh and his mom move, but getting there. Right? So... Sorry, Josh. So I really hope your mom never listens to the other show.
She still hasn't figured out how to turn on a podcast. So
Okay,
we're good.
So I'm cuddling, spooning, and watching a movie, and then all of a sudden, from the long hallway, I hear, knock, knock, are you decent?
Oh.
Knock, knock, are you decent? And so I'm like, even if I wasn't, we sure would be now because there went the mood, right? And then sometimes they go, yeah, Mom, we're good. We're just watching a movie. Like, and I'm 37 or
like
38
high
at this
school.
time, right? Yeah, exactly. And then sometimes she'd be like, oh, cool, just saying hi. Sometimes she'd come sit on the couch because it was a sectional. And she'd be like, oh, hi, how are you doing? What's your name? Where are your parents from? Tell me about them. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me right now. And so there were lines like that I couldn't tolerate, that I don't know for sure or not if that would continue.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
do
a
you
little more
think that you could
context.
like now, like if especially it's in a different situation because
Yeah.
they're not in the basement anymore, do you think you could have like a conversation with like, look, Mom, if I do this, like have a talk with her.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
just explain to her like I need my boundaries. You know, I'm 42. You know, I need to have that space.
Just put
So
a sock on the door.
be super direct with boundaries.
Yes.
Is that that's what you're
Yeah,
saying?
because I mean-
makes total sense.
Put
I mean-
a lock on the door.
Put a lock on the door.
No, I was saying a sock, but you know, whatever.
I think the sock is going too far, Josh.
I don't want my mom to know certain things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
No,
hey,
it depends on which sock he uses.
if you make
What?
it awkward enough
Oh,
too many
Spencer.
times, she will not bother you. I'm just saying.
So I have to actually make it awkward.
Yes.
No, listen,
No,
Josh,
I-
Sophie, I'm so glad you're here right now.
Oh my god.
Josh has a point. He is the expert in living with parents married.
Yes.
I mean, he does make out with his mom a lot, so it's
Oh,
understandable.
here we go.
But he lived in his parents' basement with his siblings and their spouses.
Yes.
That's true.
He knows what's up.
No, it's true. If you make things awkward enough, points will be taken and boundaries will be pretty concrete.
So you're saying you left socks on the door?
No, I mean, I don't want to go into particulars, but yeah, you know.
It's best not to. Oh, hold on. We're on episode, 23 of the show, and now he's not going into particulars?
I'm actually pretty sure Josh sleeps in the nude.
Okay.
I don't want to
mean-
know
So-
anymore.
Sophie, let's jump back to this because these two are married, right? And we're
Yes.
not going to exclude
No, we're
them.
not married.
Well, come on.
No,
you
we're
guys are
married.
super cute.
We have a spouse, but I'm not married to Josh.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I
we
get
did
it.
have 6 months of separation, but you know, whatever.
So,
You forfeited your cheese.
so is that something you could do, Sophie? Could you go and like live with your mom with like maybe still with the intent to date and have a social life? Because I'll say this, like when I was living there, women on dating apps were like, you better have a car, a job, and not live with your parents. And that was kind of a yellow flag to red flag for people. And I'm like, it's a little judgy, especially with how things are.
Yeah.
But also I get
Yeah.
it. Could you do something like that as someone that like wanted to date but still wanted your privacy?
I mean, with my mom, like my mom's already a little bit off her rocker.
Okay.
I mean, I love my mom.
Sure.
Like she's amazing, but I mean, as far as like living with her, and she's a little invasive. I wouldn't, but I mean, I feel like you have enough space with your mom.
Yeah.
You know?
I also think it's a little bit different for a girl to be living with her parents.
Okay.
But-
That's a little more like culturally acceptable, but you'd be in the upstairs.
Yeah.
I would be.
Like,
Yeah.
The
at
top
that
two
point-
floors.
Yes.
At that point, your parents are living with you.
Or
Okay.
perceptually.
But didn't you
Yeah.
also say you, because you told me a little bit of the story a couple weeks ago, like, didn't you say too, like, that your parents were going to be leaving and they wouldn't be
So
there
they're
as much?
literally gone every single weekend
Yeah.
up at Bear Lake.
Yeah.
And so there's that, right? Like I wouldn't really have to worry about weekends and,
Yeah.
you know, having a cool rave at my house or something like that.
Yeah.
I have cool raves all the time, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
But,
That's true.
okay. So are you guys making the case for me to do it? Because I'm
think
still
you
quite
should.
leery. I'm honestly leery.
Here's the thing. Do you own your condo right now?
No.
Then do it. Save some money. Get ready to either buy your parents' house or position it to potential dates of, my parents live with me so I can take care of them. And then,
Well, and part of the deal is because I would generally be doing the yard work, which
Yeah.
I don't mind doing at all.
no, not at all.
And so I think they want me to do it. It's really just convincing like myself and my like social life brain and my daughters to be like, hey, could we move 5 minutes north away from your school, that sort of thing, right? So it wouldn't be as convenient, but still, it's not the end of the world,
No.
right?
No.
Yeah, I think you should to jump on that, because I mean, speaking from somebody who just got married,
Yeah.
who was living in their parents' basement at the time. Yes, like in this economy, it's kind of, I don't want to say necessarily stupid, but to just be throwing away money like that without much of a return if you're trying to save money for a house
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Do it. And plus, perceptually, with you living up on the top floor, that does change a lot. Just like what
yeah.
Spencer
I
was
also
saying.
think being on the other side of 40 as well, it is definitely more perceived as you're living with your parents to help take care of them, rather than in your 30s where it's like, oh, you got to be on your own, you got to be doing your own thing.
I just feel like the pros outweigh the cons of the situation.
And honestly, pitching
My
it-
cat would be real uncomfortable. It's a new place. What about that?
She's
Oh,
gonna
that's
pee
good.
all over everything.
Yeah.
Your
By the way,
cat.
Sophie met my cat tonight. How's my
Yeah.
cat treating you?
Oh, she was all over me. Like all over me.
Still talking
I was
about
like,
the cat, right?
oh my God.
Yeah, I apologize. I apologize.
I was like, Misty, what's going on here?
She's getting
All-
fixed in a month. She has her.
Oh,
appointment
you still
finally.
haven't done that.
Listen,
No.
the appointment's in a month.
I have literally been giving him crap for like ever. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you going to ever take your cat
Yeah.
to get fixed?
Hey,
Look, I'm pretty sure if you go one more month past this, Bob Barker is going to personally show up at your house and
Lord.
beat you.
I'd say the ghost of Bob Barker, but I think he's still alive.
the ghost of Betty Whitewood.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Is Bob
Yeah.
Barker?
I don't. Yeah, no,
No,
he's
I
still
don't know.
alive.
Bob
He's
Barker is still highly alive.
He's 99 years old too.
So, Sophie, you brought up something with your brother, right? Like that there's an option of you possibly moving.
Yes.
Because you're living where right now?
In San Marcos.
San Marcos. Okay.
Yeah.
But is that something you would maybe do to just kind of save a little bit of money, or
I mean, honestly, I'd have more space.
you would?
I would not be, like having, other people live above me
Mm-hmm.
or people invading my space, because I would have, more land.
Okay.
So, because my brother lives on 20 acres.
Oh.
So-
what?
Yeah.
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 Jeez.
So he basically has a house like at the top of the property, and he has friends that are like actually like renting it out right now. So he has a baby. He's like 11 months old now, and they want more room because, the baby's going to start walking, kind of
Yeah.
like how Hazel, is getting big, and you need that space, So he's trying to figure out a way where he can like have an excuse to like kick them out. So he was like, so would you be interested in like renting out because he has like a double wide on the bottom of his property that he basically renovated. And it's really nice.
Right.
I mean, he did a really good job of putting it together. And so he was just like, would you be interested, if you wanted to get off your property within the next year? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean,
So you're leaning that way?
yeah.
Okay.
Obvious. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
When he even told me too, he was like, he's like, I would totally, give you your space. We have our
Right.
own lives. And he goes, I don't want you to feel like you have to because I watch my nephew a lot.
Yeah.
So, but he was like, don't feel like you have to.
Well, no, it's 20 acres, so it's not like you're
Yeah.
living with each other.
Exactly.
And on top of that,
Yeah.
you've got plenty of space to hide the bodies for the people you're dating.
Come on now.
Is
Little
it
known
sad?
fact
I
about
was kind of. I was thinking the same thing.
Right?
Murder. It always comes down to murder.
You know
Yep.
what, guys?
Yeah.
I don't date as much anymore. Okay, it's been a little
That's 'cause
slow.
they're murdered.
It's been a little
The Black
slow.
Widow.
This jumps right into something else. Like, so Sophie and I, we've been talking for years, right?
Yeah.
And we've been
Yeah.
complaining about dates to each
Yeah.
other for years. Well, we both have been, I think in the past year especially, we've been really just cynical, pretty
Yeah.
annoyed with things. But you fully got off the apps in what, August?
Of last year. Yeah.
And have you got back on?
No.
Any
Nope.
desire to whatsoever?
No.
Are you ever going to?
No.
Okay, go on. Tell me why. What happened to really turn you away from it?
It's
I got married.
well, obviously.
Hey, Spencer, remember I was saying like, hey, great success story. Let's talk about sour stuff. Sophie, why are you never getting back on the app?
It's just exhausting. It's exhausting dating. Like I think we've had this conversation before,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, where we've talked about, we tell our story, we get to know these people, and then it's like they drop off or conversation drops off. And then you talk to another person, tell the same old story, get to know that person, drops off. It's just,
then they get
it's
murdered.
just, it's,
Yeah,
yes.
we say drop off. Short cliff.
What do I take him to the ocean? Like, do I go
very
drop him
big
in the
20
ocean?
acre-
Our sharks in the ocean.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
Get-
if we learned anything by Josh
From
they're not
Zoobook's
good
over
from
here.
8 books.
Zoobook's over here.
How many days away is your brother's property from the ocean?
Oh,
Is
gosh.
it less than 8?
No, it's
Hey,
not. It's not
20
super
acres
close.
though, man. 20 acres. That's enough. That's enough
That's
room.
deer property right there.
So when you say a guy
Coyotes,
ghosted
not
you,
deer.
you mean actually he's a ghost. No, so that was a bad joke. It's
That
what
was
I
a
do.
horrible joke, but
Hey,
it's
take
fine.
it
We're just
easy.
moving on.
The apps make so much
but-
more sense now, Kenny.
Yeah, it's so true. What's different in California? I mean, not that you've like dated a lot here in Utah, but is there something specific to California that you feel is just incredibly annoying to you?
So you guys have heard about? I don't know if you guys have because you guys are married. But there's like this group on Facebook, and it's called "Are We Dating the Same Guy?" So there's literally a page in every city. So I'm in I'm actually in the one here in Salt Lake because I obviously dated here years ago. And I'm in the one in San Diego, LA, and Orange County. And it just basically, these girls get on here, talk about red flags, or they are like asking for any tea on these guys so they can know, right? So they want to know if they're talking to anybody else or anything like that. And it's just like seeing these stories too. I'm always like,
So,
yeah.
you know, this sounds like the new bathrooms for girls on dates.
Oh, like go powder your nose and then you talk
Yeah.
crap about
Yep.
people?
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
basically.
Tell us like what kind of stuff are on these posts, right? Because does someone like, let's say someone's cheated on, right?
Yeah.
Or someone was like, someone's a gaslighter.
Yeah.
Do they then go
somebody's
right to this piece, or married? And I'm sure
Yeah.
that happens
Yeah.
all the time.
Yes.
Because the
Yes.
page is called "Are We Dating the Same Person?"
Yes.
Do they then go, "I'm so mad at this guy that I was dating," blah blah blah, take his picture and post it and say, "This guy's an absolute jerk. Here's what he did to me." Like,
So
how does
there's
that go?
rules. You
Okay.
can't, there's certain things you can't say, like you can't say his full name.
Okay.
You can't like throw any like, oh, he's an F and A-hole. La, la. You can't really
Name
go out
calling.
there. Yeah.
Do you just try
can't
to put facts out there?
So, well, you basically, your post has to be very vague. So you basically just go red flags,
Okay.
details and comments once approved, yada, yada. So then once they get approved, the post gets approved, they put the picture of the guy,
Okay.
tell their story.
Sure.
And basically it's like either they tell initials or they tell first name and then the initial of the last name. And then, you know, other people start chiming in. Oh, I know this guy. Da, 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 da.
They're like,
So-
Kenny D.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, that's pretty common.
I've already checked the group here. He's not on
Okay.
it. So it's
I'm
like,
so
he's
relieved.
clear.
You're
He's
clean.
clear.
Well, by the way, Kenny D died multiple years ago, but
Yeah,
still.
on the 20 acres of land in San Marcos.
No, it was in Twilla.
Too soon. So yeah, it's just so fascinating to me because like as a guy, it is a little scary, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like we don't have access to this page, though I
Yeah.
hear some guys do because either they have spies or they have fake
Yes.
female accounts.
Yeah.
Because I know they vet you before you go in, right?
Yes.
And there's probably just a lot more lurkers than there are posters, right? Would you say that? Like people are there for the entertainment value?
How do they vet you? Is this like an Aes Sedai kind of thing?
A what?
Oh, you mean to get into the group?
Yeah.
So you have to answer all these questions, basically.
Oh, that easy.
Oh, because you're
No,
going to
no,
get
no,
into
no,
So why isn't there a Kennedy D in there?
Well, listen. I can't even say Kennedy D. Uh-oh. I love that.
Yeah.
Get a DD. Hey, if you see me in there, it's going to be a Snapchat filter, super glossy. Yeah, sorry.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because it's just, as a guy, it's a little worrying because it's like, there are crappy guys out there, obviously.
Yeah.
And women should watch out for these guys. And I think it's like, let's say it's like a small percentage of these crappy guys have messed with a lot of women and ruined dating for a lot of women, right?
Yeah.
But it's that small percentage. And yeah, they should probably be called out. But if a guy was just like maybe accidentally flaked out or something like that, or a date didn't go well, what if they're bad-mouthed, right? Like, what's there to protect them? Anything?
I haven't seen anything to that extent of something stupid like that. Because usually I've seen girls, like even me as a, some of these girls are delusional. So it's not like
And
I'm
you can
like on
kinda
every
tell
single side.
with the posts?
Yeah.
Like they're just so angry at everything.
Yeah.
Like, take it with a grain of salt.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, girls do come to that, like, I think I told you the other night that girls will automatically call out a guy and be like, oh, he's a firefighter, or he's in the military
which
and
means
he's a D-bag, and
Is that what that generally means, firefighter and all that kind of
like,
stuff?
no, that doesn't always mean that, like everybody's different. Everybody has a story, and I feel like some of these girls are just automatically angry and pissed and just want to talk crap and all these.
Dare
men.
he break my date because he had to go fight a fire?
Happens to Josh all the time.
And you're not even a firefighter.
I know.
So you've had personal experience. You don't need to get into the specifics, right? But you've had personal experience where did you post a picture and say, hey, is anyone else dating this person?
Oh,
or
yeah,
did you
absolutely.
see someone that said that and then you said, actually me? Right? Have you been on either side of that?
Yeah, I've been on the side where I did post a picture of a guy.
Because you were interested.
Yes.
And you're like, hey, just want to know. It's not like I have to distrust him yet, but is anyone dating this guy or have you had good experiences? Is that kind of how it goes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
And then?
Oh, I got a few comments of him because he basically told me he wasn't on the apps anymore.
Okay.
Then all these other girls were like, oh, I know I matched with him. And then I went on to my story, and then another girl chimed in and went, oh, I just went on a date with him the other day. I'm like, oh, really?
Okay.
And it ended up being the night we were supposed to go out. He canceled on me and lied to me. Then this girl sent me like a direct message telling me the full on story of what happened between him and her. And I was like, okay, then. So,
Okay, hold on. Is it better to know or not know? Right? Because if you know how crappy some of these guys are and what they're doing or where they were when they canceled the date, does that make you so much more cynical that much more fast? Or is the truth always better?
I mean, I was happy that I found out the truth because then I didn't waste my time anymore. You know?
Yeah.
Just kind
But
of
does
like,
it make you distrust every guy?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, it definitely makes me a little bit more jaded for sure.
For sure.
Well,
Yeah.
think about it. How many people are on these apps and what's the small sample size on one of these groups? If you look at the numbers, then it's such a small amount that actually end up in the group.
Oh, they actually,
that is what
yes.
you see.
I get what you're saying.
So in the San Diego group, there's 45,000 women.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Salt Lake, there's about 25,000.
What?
No joke.
Oh my gosh. That's. Oh, wow.
Listen, it's not a good place out there.
No
No.
numbers.
25,000. That's more than the conference center in downtown.
One second.
They actually just go to the conference center and they swipe left on the or right on the big screen all together.
No. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. It's the population of Salt Lake is 1,231,912.
Okay.
Thank you, Spencer.
So if
Appreciate
you
that.
assume
Fact
of them-
checking right there.
He's
He's our facts
Wikipedia.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm
He's a Zoobook.
Zoobook.
Yeah.
if you assume half of them are female,
Yeah.
that's still over 500,000. So
Right.
25,000
Yeah.
of 500,000. I'm not the math teacher. Stephanie is.
I mean, you just stop at the numbers. You're like, my wife does that better.
does,
I checked out when you're trying to explain
See,
that.
25,000.
Can I look through these real quick?
I don't think you're allowed.
Would you get kicked off if they knew that I was looking? I'm so curious.
Probably.
Okay.
That's
After the show.
That is so much more entertaining than Mutual ever will be.
Absolutely.
Oh,
highly.
yeah.
And Mutual
There's
is
a lot of tea in there.
Oh.
A lot of tea.
not a lot of tea in
Mormons
Mutual.
don't drink tea.
You mean from the guy saying it's
Spencer,
low tea? So we're having like 3 conversations here. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Of course.
And I support you in this. I'm actually right there with you right now because you can't take it sometimes. You need to really kind of regroup and gain your self-worth back.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's weird that a gaming app on your phone, because that's what I think the dating apps are. It's gamifying the system.
It really is.
A game can really just kind of ruin your day. Granted, sometimes Twitterpation can happen from it. How long does it last? Who knows, right? Maybe a long time, maybe not. It becomes one of these things where like, I have to delete this and maybe I'll come back to it at some point. Yes.
You know, I met my wife on one of those apps. Are you saying that's
no?
just
You're a
Twitterpation?
plant. You're a plant being paid off by one of these apps.
Did you really meet Stuffy on an app?
Yeah.
Really? What app?
Mutual. There was no T.
All right. That's boring.
No, that's cute, right? It's cute. Good job, Spencer.
I totaled my car.
Yeah.
Had to move home, which put me just in range to match with her.
Okay.
And I was at the point, like when we matched, that I was like, I'm done. Like,
oh, so you were at that point.
yeah, I was at the point.
Were you kind of like the universe is going to do what the universe is going to do at this point?
No, so when I matched with Stephanie, I'd just been on a bunch of dates with a girl who told me, you know what, it's not going to work. I'm just not interested.
Right.
I said, well, I'll show you.
Uh-oh.
And the next person I matched with, I said, hey, let's not play games. Let's go grab lunch. Immediately, right off the bat.
Well, how did she feel about that?
She thought it was refreshing. We grabbed lunch.
I like Jaded Spencer.
Turns out the girl that
I do too, actually.
Well. He keeps going. The girl that had just turned me down.
Yeah.
Her sister was Stephanie's roommate.
Oh. Wow.
That's a small world.
What a twist.
Yeah. And now I have to go to weekend getaways with her
Oh, okay.
and her husband.
You sound so excited.
I am super excited. I support my wife.
Yes. Okay. So, but you're saying because you like fast tracked everything, you didn't play the game of
Yeah, I
like,
didn't play the game.
What's your favorite color? Hey, maybe because here's what I do. Hey, I try to do an icebreaker, which is usually horrible. But if that works and they say something, hopefully it's more than a one word answer, because then nothing will ever happen. But usually by the end of a conversation in a day, I'll get a phone number. Usually by day 2, I'll try to plan a date. Right. But sometimes that may be too slow, because usually by the end of day 1, even if there's a good conversation, and Sophie, I'm sure you can agree, they disappear.
Yep.
Into the ether.
Yes.
And you're like, but it was such a good conversation.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen?
We exchanged, I think, maybe 4 messages on the app.
But you didn't even have because I like to have an inside joke with someone before I go on the date.
We did.
Okay, go on.
So the icebreaker I used, she's a math teacher. So I said, hey, what's
Did you give the population of Salt Lake again? No. Okay,
That's what sold her.
It's sexy.
I said, hey, you teach math, so what's the probability of me getting your phone number?
Jaded Spencer.
And she laughed.
Taking chances.
Josh and I are so impressed, and Sophie is not pleased.
Not really.
Dad jokes.
I would have been like, no, that's a no for me.
Exactly. And then there's a reason.
I would say, you're a math teacher. What's your problem? And here I am moving back into my mom's.
I was living with my mom at the time.
I see. That's okay. Yeah.
And at least you had the upstairs. I had a room.
Yeah. I like Jaded Spencer. Sophie, not so much.
Yeah. So she laughed at my joke, and I said, look, I don't want to play any games. You just want to go grab lunch.
Okay.
And that was it.
Did you wait a day? Did you wait 2 days?
We had lunch. I drove home and texted her and said, hey, let's go out again. And I had a good time.
And then second date, you proposed, right?
Actually,
is that how it works in Utah?
No, it was actually 2 months.
2 months. That's so Utah.
I'm trying. Wait. I'm trying to think. Did that take you longer than me?
So wait, when did you like tell her you loved her? Like how long?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think it was.
You should know this, Spencer.
I think it was the 4th or 5th.
Wow.
4th or 5th date.
Like, I knew we were both in our late 20s. Like we had dated.
Yeah, it's not like you were 21 and being like, I'm a kid. And
No, we knew what
I
we
have
were
so many
looking
hopes and
for.
dreams. Yeah.
Yeah, we knew what we were looking for. So it was kind of like, look, you're everything I'm looking for. I'm everything you're looking for.
How did you know? You knew immediately within 4 or 5 dates?
We knew pretty quick.
Sophie, I think you and I are so different where we're like, you may seem like everything I'm looking for, but there are skeletons in that closet, right?
Yes, we're always expecting for like the other shoe to drop,
absolutely.
right?
Which is totally
Always.
a cynical view.
Yes.
Look,
right?
At the end of the day, you have 20 acres to bury bodies. Her dad has a couple hundred. So.
And a lot of cows.
And a lot of cows.
Okay. Well,
He takes me pheasant hunting.
They'll suck
so
on your
if anything
hand,
happens, pheasant hunting accidents, ask Dick Cheney. Like my reference from 2000.
Yeah, no joke. Okay. Sophie, We have you here for, every reason now. We just basically want you to criticize us and tell us where we're wrong or right or Judge Spencer. But we geek out about stuff, and then Josh usually falls asleep in the corner when Spencer and I geek out.
Yeah.
But
Because you never let me talk about killer whales and SeaWorld.
Oh, man.
So when
You
Spencer and I are
your
talking
Zoobooks.
about like comic book movies, and you want to talk about
I just in my mind, I'm usually lost in thought, going, animals of the sea, and then Shamu jumps up and
So that's where those sounds came from. Okay.
Hey, you know what went on sale yesterday, Kent?
What went on sale?
Tickets for The Flash.
Oh, okay. What are your thoughts on The Flash, Sophie?
I'm a little torn.
Okay.
Only because, so Kent got me into, Snyder Cut before.
I
was
feel like
not,
I'm a missionary. Where I'm like, maybe if you watch it with this pair of eyes.
No,
right?
seriously though. But
Yeah.
for real, I'm more of a Marvel person.
Yeah.
And we all know that Kent's like more of a DC person, right? So I wasn't really like sold on the whole Ben Affleck being,
You really weren't. You didn't
No,
watch
I
BVS
wasn't.
until what, 2 years ago, maybe? Tops?
Yeah, because you got me to watch that too.
Yeah, I forced you to watch
Yes,
it.
yes, you did.
Right.
So then I finally got into Snyder Cut and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Masterpiece.
And it was phenomenal. The score, everything.
Yeah. She's a big score geek, which is incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like score bars.
Yeah, they're good too. And score or Heath bar?
Score bars.
Okay.
Okay. Back to movie
So
talk
once
now.
again.
Okay. So I don't know. I guess I'm not really a big fan of Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
I'm not like really sold on him.
Right.
I did think the whole concept of like bringing Michael Keaton Batman, back to the screen was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I'm
Is
just
he a personal
not-
favorite of yours? Like, is that something that you need to see, or is it just like for nostalgia? That will be great.
Just nostalgia.
You don't need to see extended more movies with Michael Keaton.
No.
Okay.
No. I think it's cool just like as the throwback.
Kind of like as in spoiler alert, Spider-Man: No Way Home, where you're like, what a great tribute to the history of Spider-Man,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what
Was
you
it
want to
though?
see.
Yeah.
For Andrew Garfield, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Was it though?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Listen,
No.
it finally made people go, hey, Andrew Garfield's not that bad. I'm like, he's the best one.
Yeah,
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
It just makes me want less Tom Holland and more Andrew
Oh,
Garfield.
I agree, but that's not what we're going to get. Kind of like with The Flash, we've got to take what we can get here.
Yeah.
But do we even want it here with The Flash?
Not necessarily.
No.
Yeah.
So why is Michael Keaton in this? Dumb it down for me here.
Okay. So, yeah, nostalgia. Popular, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
No,
it.
that's really it.
Okay.
So to dumb it down,
Okay.
Spencer, will you give us a flashpoint sort of really quick run through?
The TLDR version, the too long didn't read version of the Flashpoint story is the Flash realizes he's so fast he can go back in time and save his mother. He goes back in time, saves his mother, but that changes everything else. So he comes back to hit the present time and everything's changed.
So basically, it's like Back to the Future for geeks.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Back to the Future is for everyone, not just for geeks, I guess.
Well, yeah.
yeah.
So the Flash comes back to the present timeline, different Batman.
Is Doc Brown in it? Because I want that nostalgia.
No, but you know who is in it, and this is a confirmed leak.
Are you sure you can share this?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
This is a minor spoiler. Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Isn't he in everything?
Yeah, he is.
You know what? I think I actually read that somewhere.
Yeah.
About Nicolas Cage.
That's actually a
being in it.
spoiler, but that's okay. You're still
Oh,
sharing
no,
it.
come on.
No, it's a spoiler. It's one
not
of those things that people are going to watch the movie and go, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Give me a high five. And it's going to
No.
be all clammy.
Come on.
You know,
It's the Flash movie.
Hey, it could be worse. It could be Tom Hanks.
he hates Tom Hanks so bad.
I agree. No, I agree. I don't like Tom Hanks.
Thank you.
He is creepy AF.
You have a deer.
Especially as Geppetto.
Yes.
You have
Okay.
deer
Yes.
and Tom Hanks as Geppetto in the
No.
backyard.
Oh, my
No.
gosh.
Days.
He
Speaking
is.
of comic book movies,
Yeah.
and now that Harrison Ford is going to be in an MCU film,
Yeah.
who would you cast Tom Hanks as in the MCU?
Absolutely no one.
No.
Because he's no.
If you had a gun
No.
to your head and you had to cast Tom Hanks in the MCU,
Why are you putting me in this position?
because I can.
He's
probably-
like he literally reminds me of like some like creep. just like that preys on children.
Are you still talking about Geppetto?
Yeah, essentially.
I'll tell you what,
Honestly-
Geppetto is a really unfortunate name
honestly-
at this point.
The way that Tom Hanks plays roles is he plays the most iconic person that he can to ruin any historical value to that person. So it would be Stan Lee that he would play.
Oh my gosh, he would.
You just spoke that into the universe, and I hate you for it. He's going to play Stan Lee.
God.
He will in a biopic. Just wait.
Yep.
I'm so upset right now.
So am I, because I met Stan Lee.
Yeah.
I did once.
I'm
but
not.
Actually, it was the back of him, but whatever.
What?
How is that even possible?
I ran into him.
I met him from the back.
Literally, I ran into him.
Josh will back me up. But if you met Stanley, really met him and had lunch with him, ask him what his favorite character he ever created was, I think he'd go down a notch in your wholesome list.
Who is it?
Any guesses?
I want to say it's someone from Fantastic Four.
Not
is it
a Marvel character.
What?
Batman.
That's DC.
What's one that he
I don't
created?
know.
And I am ashamed for knowing this. I blame my friend Eric for sharing this tidbit.
Oh,
with us.
yeah.
Yeah, Stripperella.
That's Stan Lee's favorite character?
That he ever created.
Sounds like somebody from MILF Manor.
It is.
Please don't tell me you watched that, Josh.
No, I just
Don't point your finger at me.
I just use it for
Do
jokes.
you watch it?
Oh, yeah.
That's going to have to be the name of the house.
Don't act surprised.
I'm judging you right
Yeah, I
now.
know.
Actually, you can judge us pretty well based on the dating shows we all choose to watch.
Yeah, these guys watch Farmer Needs a Wife, and I
Farmer
watch
Wants a
MILF
Wife.
Manor.
The
I mean, I
Bachelor.
shouldn't really judge though because
We
I
watch Love
date
is Blind.
young guys.
I don't know.
So
Oh, tell us about that.
Oh yeah, let's go into that one.
No, look, equal rights,
no,
right?
we're going back to the geek stuff, guys.
Okay, we're done with
We're
dating?
not diverging. Like
Okay, you're going to have to join us for another show, and we'll talk more about
Okay.
you dating younger men.
Okay.
Okay,
And if
back
there's
to
benefits to
Stanley and
that.
Tom Hanks.
Yes.
No, so let's get away from both of those guys, because now I don't like Stanley. No, just kidding. He's a legend, probably, unless he's a bad person.
No,
I don't know.
No more Tom Hanks, please.
But yeah, I'm right there with you with Flash. So we're going to go back to Flash.
Yes.
I don't like it because anything Snyder, any part of his universe will now be gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is maybe fine because they've really just tainted any casting or production that he's been involved
James
with
Gunn
since.
took over, so now he's just crapping on DC.
Well played.
Now we get an E.
And it wasn't one of us.
Kennedy brought Sophie V, who gave us an E.
Kennedy D.
Kennedy D.
And Sophie, I know you still enjoy comic book movies like more than I do because I get a little movie cynical, right?
Yes.
And Spencer and I have had a lot
Yeah.
of conversation about this lately.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a comic book fatigue? Is there a superhero fatigue at the movie theater?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
I disagree.
You agreed till last week?
Until last week. And I actually texted you this after I left Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Okay. Does your mind change with Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Seeing a good movie, does that change your
Well,
mind?
as you know, I always check with you on movies before
Yeah.
I go to see them in theaters.
Right. Even though
And-
we do disagree sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Hands down.
Yeah.
But I mean, it honestly, I don't feel like comic book movies have been that great coming out. And then I saw Guardians, and I thought,
Which is also not great. It's good.
in my
It's
opinion,
above average for comic book movies.
For lately.
well, yeah,
How's
lately,
the soundtrack?
Soundtrack's amazing.
That's all that matters to me.
It's
I
lesser.
actually really do not like the soundtrack of the Guardians films because what they've done to films as a whole.
okay. Well,
Okay.
a lot of people will disagree with you.
Yeah.
I know.
But-
This
No,
is
but
the
you're right.
popular
This is a superior comic book
Correct.
movie based on what we've seen with like Quantumania, for
That
example,
was,
right?
yeah,
That was terrible.
That was
or
horrible.
what was the Black
Love and
Adam and
Thunder.
stuff like that?
Yeah.
Shazam,
Never saw Black Adam because
Does it compare with Shazam? Anyways, I do think that even though, yes, Spencer, you mentioned, and you can correct me here,
Yeah.
that like it's bad writing fatigue. Is that what you're
It's
saying?
not just bad writing fatigue. And I'm going to say something that's probably going to get Sophie mad at me and a lot of other
Okay,
listeners.
go on.
It is MCU fatigue. And that is because the MCU is constantly building to the next thing, that there's not a satisfactory ending to every film.
Gotcha.
that makes
That
sense.
makes- yeah.
No, that
Films-
makes sense.
It's the same
That
issue
makes
that
sense.
comics
Well,
have.
that's
too.
that's homework
Yeah.
fatigue. I have
Yeah.
to watch this many Disney Plus shows in order to watch this movie.
I think that's where I'm at. I think that's why I just don't even try anymore.
You shouldn't either.
It-
A movie needs to stand on its own to be of quality.
Yeah, no, I agree,
Right.
and I just don't understand this whole web of like what I need to watch when I need to watch it to understand this.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I think that is why maybe the DC, if they take some time, starting fresh with Superman Legacy, they might have a chance. Because one thing James Gunn has shown is that he wants to end his films and end them in his way. So hopefully that stands that way and you don't end up with the same thing you have with the MCU films. And pardon my language, it's not as bad as Sophie V's, but we're not getting blue-balled by every film.
No, that's going to get us an E.
See, and I think already with the rumor,
Kennedy.
this is rumor, right? And he's probably shot it down already because he can't get off Twitter. Actually, this probably isn't going to be true, so I'm just going to speak out of turn. But that they're introducing several superheroes in the Superman movie, which premieres in 2025, right? That reboots the new Superman and everything. And I'm like, just give us, for example, like the Batman trilogy with Robert Pattinson. I didn't love that they had to reboot it, but I am like, I like that they're staying in the Batman realm.
Yeah.
They're just giving us the Batman story
Yeah.
for 3 movies, and great. And don't try to match him up with any other Superman or anything. Just give us standalone trilogies or full-on stories.
And I love that they're leaving him alone in his own corner.
Yeah, I hope they do leave him alone. I think that's what I want to see. I think people may, and I don't know, does the MCU ever learn from this and go back to a standalone trilogy ever? Like, let's say X-Men. Let's say they do X-Men, right? And they're like, X-Men's a big enough story to have an event of their own, but maybe they can make that a trilogy without including the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man.
They won't, because it's all about synergy, corporate synergy.
I hate that word.
Do you think they'll tie like for example, because Deadpool's going to be coming out soon?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll tie that into anything?
Deadpool will be tied into literally every character we know because he has to make commentary on it all.
Yeah.
Well, and I think they've already confirmed that this is basically going to be their version of the Flash, where it resets things and pulls in the X-Men and mutants into the MCU.
What is going to be their version of the Flash? Oh, is that true? Okay. I thought it was going to be like a multiverse. Sorry, this is so geeky for everyone listening, but here we are, okay? I thought it was going to be with the Kang sort of multiverse story. That's when they're going to try to collide the universes, maybe into one, like has happened in the comics.
You know, they may do that, but I heard they were going to introduce the concept.
Okay.
So it's not going to be must-see movie because it's Deadpool. It's going to be their first rated R MCU film.
Will it actually be rated R?
Yeah, it's going to be.
You think?
They say it is.
They keep saying it will be. I mean,
But
Ryan Reynolds.
But they like Deadpool's made money. It's not like it doesn't make money.
Yeah.
And they've
just
got
doesn't
Hugh
fit.
Jackman coming back as Wolverine.
That's true.
It's going to make
Yeah.
money. But
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a
Josh,
soft R.
nostalgia.
I know. I'm like, you lost me so much. All I am thinking right now is Tom Hanks is probably going to play Deadpool.
You're still thinking about Tom Hanks?
Yeah, he has that
Why?
way. He just has this way of just like lingering.
himself-
I feel
in
like Josh
Josh.
does this. Like, it's like one thing he sticks on, like LeBron James's foot. And then we got lost with him and it was quiet the whole time. And you guys are going back and forth. And then all of a sudden, Josh is like, I'm still staring at LeBron's foot. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I wish I had
So
an
now
answer
he's
for
quiet.
you.
Now he's thinking about Tom Hanks. Good Lord.
Tom Hanks with LeBron James' foot. Is he going to play LeBron James' foot?
Oh my gosh, that's like the worst sequel to Castaway ever.
He's not gonna
Instead of
play
Wilson,
LeBron
it's just
James.
LeBron's foot.
Yeah, he's not going to play LeBron James. He's going to play LeBron James' foot.
Yeah. What has happened?
Space Jam 3.
Okay. So let's move from the MCU. Like, obviously, we have our thoughts. We've talked about it a little bit. What about Star Wars? So what Disney's kind of doing is they're stalling releases, especially with the writer's strike, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Mandalorian's going to be delayed, though Ahsoka is already done. And
Correct.
I know Ahsoka is kind of a passion for you.
Yes.
Is that something that the general audience can watch and go, hey, I can appreciate this. As a Star Wars fan, as a casual Star Wars fan, I can appreciate this.
I honestly think it will be like amazing because like they're bringing in Thrawn, obviously.
Who's Thrawn?
But
Actually, so it depends on where you want to start with Thrawn. Thrawn
That
was
just became a
introduced-
actually guy. Okay.
well, actually, I was gonna go.
No
off
mansplaining
on a
on
rant,
this.
and I'm like, this is gonna take too long.
He was introduced in the extended Star Wars universe that Disney got rid of in Heir to the Empire,
Right.
introduced by Timothy Zahn. So he was actually the one that was supposed to be the big bad after Darth Vader
Yes.
and the Emperor left.
He's a
was-
general that has a blue face.
Yes,
For Josh.
yes.
He was
Thank
Okay.
you, Spencer.
Yep, he was reintroduced and made canon again
Yeah.
by Dave Filoni in Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
And in Star Wars Rebels, he's just a very, very, very powerful admiral.
So, but he's a fan favorite villain.
Yes.
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 All right. And do we
Yeah.
know what happens to his character in the canon? Because it's like, I think Star Wars kind of has an issue of like, cool, Andor's great, but we know what's going to happen to these people. Right? It's like a lot of people want new stories that aren't tied to maybe the sequel series at this point. Is Ahsoka going to be enough to make people go, cool, this is just a really quality standalone thing?
Well, when Ahsoka was in season 2 of Mandalorian, she did mention Thrawn because she went around looking for him.
Yeah.
So
Played by Rosario Dawson.
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is where we get, and it's cool. The cool thing I thought about it too is that the guy who voices him in Rebels is going to be playing him. So
that's cool. I like that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I like that they
Kind of like
did that.
Starbuck in Mandalorian, right?
Yes.
Bo-Katan. You know what I mean.
Yes. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I know
Yes.
what you mean. I'm
Yes.
shaking my head at you.
I'm just trying to confuse Josh.
Because Josh has no idea what's going on.
Tom Hanks, man.
Still? Can you please stop?
He has a
that?
blue face in
Just-
my
No.
imagery right now.
Josh.
Does he have a mustache or no?
No.
Okay.
So here's another question. We know Bill Murray made his cameo in the MCU.
Yeah.
Who would Tom Hanks play in Star Wars?
Not again.
Oh,
Not
no.
again. Don't do that to Josh right now.
He'd probably be a Mandalorian
No. Good Lord.
because we need a mask on him.
No,
I don't.
can't
I
wear
wouldn't
masks.
even want to know if he made a cameo as a Mandalorian at all.
He'd ruin the whole universe
Yes,
for you.
he really would.
Yeah.
He really would.
How do you feel
Tainted.
about, Sophie, how do you feel about Rey's movie, Rey's standalone movie where she's going to train the new Jedi recruits?
I don't know. I'm kind of torn with it because
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I'm not a huge fan of the newer films.
Sure.
I'm, I'm
The 99%, sure.
all the way Empire Strikes Back. I love
Totally.
that's like my favorite.
Yeah.
But I mean, supposedly they're saying what I've read that Grogu is supposed to be also alongside with her. So I don't know.
Is that a good thing or a merchandise thing?
No,
Well,
it's
the
a
cynic in
mercy
me.
thing.
A mercy thing. Go on.
They know that they're not going to get the viewership without Grogu.
Yeah, Grogu on the big screen will be a big deal.
As an adult.
Yes.
Ish.
Ish. Because he's
Well,
already 50.
Yeah.
Well, no. So my opinions on the Rey thing, because I need to share my opinions, even though you asked Sophie what hers were.
It's okay. Go, Spencer.
It
Go
is
ahead,
a podcast
Spencer.
with different voices.
Yes,
we can say
it's
whatever.
totally fine, Spencer.
I'm okay with the Rey film. Like I'm okay.
Yeah.
Giving Daisy Ridley a chance to redeem the character. They chose the wrong director and writer
True.
For this new movie.
for this movie.
Okay.
They chose one of the writers and directors for the Miss Marvel TV show.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that I didn't even attempt to watch that show.
I tried.
Nobody
because
did.
it looked horrible.
Yeah.
I tried. It was not good.
Okay.
So,
So
Wait, so you're saying there's very little hope, but maybe it could be a surprise? Maybe your expectations are so low.
yes.
it's one of those things where like I've seen the product, I've seen what this director can do, and I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
So my expectations are extremely low.
I just think it's everything they've done now is a complete missed opportunity because they butchered the character of Luke Skywalker, and they're trying to put Luke's character in Rey or maybe in the Jedi Survivor game, right? With
Yeah.
Cal Kestis, right?
Yeah.
Which is a cool character, but it's like we wanted to see Luke do this, and obviously when they made the sequel series, Mark Hamill was a little bit older.
Yes.
But even just to see these legacy characters in incredible scenes together was they just dropped the ball altogether.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're trying to like Disney or Kathleen Kennedy are trying to redeem themselves by giving the story we never saw, but with new characters.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, going back to Ahsoka, I also read that Dave Filoni wrote every single episode.
And you do trust him?
Oh, I love.
Oh,
yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Did you guys see Mandalorian season 3?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. So here's the thing, Dave Filoni.
That was
dare.
condescending, by the
I
way.
know it was. I know it was, and you're wrong.
Grogu's
No, I'm
the
right.
best.
No, you're wrong.
Did you see it?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
go
did.
on.
And it's because you are one of those fans that says if this doesn't match my expectations and where I think the
My
story's gonna go-
expectation is quality.
Yeah.
And I don't have to watch series before it. I know. We disagree. Storytelling is kind of
Ken's
what I look
version
for.
of quality is I shop at the Target.
Yeah, no, Target is quality, though. It is quality. It's cute women there. Anyway, sorry. Why do you guys trust Dave Filoni? I cut you off.
You know, Target does have an app.
A dating app?
You could
Target.
probably-
Get on
Okay, we're
this.
just. Okay.
I love this.
Okay, go back. Let's go back to Spencer.
Dave Filoni. The reason I trust Dave Filoni is because when it came down to who understood Star Wars better than anybody
Loves
else,
it.
he understands Star Wars better than George Lucas himself.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't. The
Yes,
guy who
he does.
created it compared to a guy who watched it.
The guy who created it and has carried the torch compared to the guy that created it and loves money. George Lucas is the Mr. Krabs of Star Wars.
Oh, that's a hot take.
I mean,
He invented the Krabby Patty, but SpongeBob perfected it.
Wait, how? In what world? In what world has Star Wars been perfected when it's a TV series now? It's not even a film franchise. This thing's been so watered down.
Ignore the films. Look at the stories. Who tells the best Star Wars stories since Lucas?
Who wrote Andor? Tony Gilroy. He tells the best Star Wars stories.
Yeah, but who's the keeper of the holocron?
But what? Explain to
Filoni.
Josh what that means.
Yes, please.
It's
Dumb
not-
it
it's
down
not
for me.
he's over.
Actually, I was just thinking.
There's no. Oh, I like that we're fighting. There's no argument that Star Wars is better now because Dave Filoni's hands have been on it. Granted, was it good with the prequels? None of us
He
really liked it.
understands what
we
the
all
fans
know
like.
what storytelling he was trying to do. Though,
But I
at the time.
appreciate the prequels way more now.
Absolutely, because you've seen crap since.
Way more.
Because it's
Yeah.
been crap since.
Dave
Yeah.
Filoni wasn't involved in the sequels, but he did Clone
No,
Wars and
And
Rebels,
Rebels, yes.
and he hasn't been fully 1,000%
And-
storyboard control of Mandalorian.
Sure.
But you can see his influence.
Yes.
The only problem I have with Dave Filoni is he loves the characters that he created.
I think he likes his boss too much. I think he gets too much direction from above.
Do you think that Tom Hanks could play Jar Jar Binks?
Lord.
All right, with that, I think we should wrap it up.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, but
I'll just say I do believe that Darth Jar Jar is real.
so do I actually.
I think
Is he a Sith Lord, Sophie?
Jar Jar?
Yeah. Have you
you
not
not
seen
looked
that
into this?
conspiracy theory?
Yes, I have seen that.
I think he was the reason Palpatine came into power.
By the way, I'm like so happy that they redeemed the actor.
Me
who-
too, yeah.
Oh,
in
yeah.
The,
Oh, yeah,
in the
my
series.
best, yes.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Sophie, having
Yes.
joined us for this episode, will you join us again?
yes, of course.
Yeah?
I love being
Oh,
with you guys.
yes.
Because I was like,
Dang it.
please say
I
yes.
failed.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right, Josh, take us out.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. If you're still with us, thank you. We really do appreciate it. And we understand that there are a number of podcasts out there that you can choose from. So the fact that you choose to lend us your ear means a lot. Guys, we want to connect with you, whether that's through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You can follow the other show on any of those social media platforms. Additionally, you can join us in our Facebook group, The Other Group. It's a fun little community we hope that you will want to be a part of. Now, we may be seasoned podcasters, but this is still a fairly new podcast. So please do us a solid by hitting the subscribe button on whatever podcast platform you listen to us on, whether that's Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and we're even on YouTube. Subscribing helps others find the other show much easier. Also, please leave us a review. We actually do read each and every one of those, even the irrelevant one-star reviews. Now, if leaving a written review isn't necessarily your thing, you can always call my voicemail at 801-508-4989 with that comment, question, complaint, or even suggestion. Again, that number is 801-508-4989. But when you're not here listening to us, remember, you can listen to me on my other show, The Party in the Back.
You can hear me on my other show, Bacon Cell.
And you can hear me on my other show,